tell the massive them who is J.L.L. for the people who are listening in for the first time.
Well, J.L.L. is just a musician, a sonic innovator that, believes in the power of collaboration, and believes in the culture. And cultures not only exclusive to Jamaica, but cultures of mainly Black people. Our race, our sonic emblem. That's what I believe in, and my music aims to tell a story and explore even just arts like sampling, explore soulful jazz music, explore grooves, explore just anything that really makes people move. And I think J.L.L. encapsulates just feeling and honesty in the music, bringing that back to music in a way that is palatable and just generally pleasing to the ear.
Yeah, man. So you started off of course, professionally probably 3 years ago, and you also did a degree, in creative arts, if I'm not wrong, at UTech. So when did you notice, say a music meeting, a production meeting, this is what we want to do, when we grow up, or when did that come about, apart from just getting the degrees later on and producing 2-3 years ago professionally? So when did that fire start burn about the music?
Funny enough, that fire started to burn a while before I did music professionally. That fire started to burn while I was in Arden, that's a high school in Jamaica. That was probably around 2009. I tell you, from the first time I started building rhythms in the FL studio, I was just to tell the honest truth, I was the most diligent student. I was pretty smart still, but I was just the beats, man. These beats.
So were you knocking tables and you're bridging them DJ on?
Yes, exactly. Everything, man.
Musical, So tell us the transition now from high school days to linking up with with the bands, the team, and right now you have a song with Koffee, you have produced for Drake on his album Certified Lover Boy. Tell us the journey. How was that? How did your folks take it? How did the environment, the people around you, your friends take it? Did they encourage you and they were what, brother, go to school first, get some some papers first before you jump into the music? What was the reaction?
It's just been continuous support, man, to tell the truth. I try to surround myself around people who only provide positive feedback, you feel me?
Yeah, man.
People who really hear the music and just believe in it from the jump, even when the numbers weren't behind it, even when the big names were behind it. So all I've gotten was just pure support and pure encouragement from people who are close to me, and just friends who just even like my music. My family is fully supportive as well. They know of everything, every big thing that happens. It's a conversation, and I feel like I have very supportive people around me, man.
Yeah. Okay. So born and raised in Jamaica. So how has that influenced, your production? You're a musician, and what kind of genre of music do you produce? Talk to us about that.
Right. Well, obviously it should be a trope at this point. If I'm born and raised in Jamaica, I'm usually in reggae or dancehall. But funnily enough, I experimented with so many genres when I started out making music. And I didn't settle with one. I think I ended up probably making more dancehall over time, but I have a wide range. But being Jamaican really influenced me to make, honestly, my love for reggae and dancehall is unparalleled. It's not because I'm just Jamaican. It's just because I feel like this music has so much heart in it. It's one of the first musics that really connected to me in a way that, to this day, it's hard to explain. But what I ended up doing is putting in some of my international influences in the reggae and the dancehall, because that's how we progress the genre. And Yeah, I mean, trust me, I would never take back being Jamaican and having that Jamaican influence, because I think that's what really kind of gets to people's souls very quickly. That groove and that hard hitting music, that bass line, you know, and those are things that, you know, no one can really deny.
For real, for real. So I want to get your opinion briefly regarding, you know, the Grammys. Mixed reactions, bro. People say, yo, them should have not get it. They should have gotten it. You know, they're hardworking band. You know, we're talking about Soulja who won the Grammy, you know, and what are your thoughts, you know, being a producer, you know, being a Grammy nominated producer, you know, I mean, and musician in general. So what are your thoughts regarding that, you know, because there's mixed reaction, you know, like it's 50-50, you know, there, especially some dancehall reggae artists, you know, they're on this side, some are supporting it. So I just wanted to know your general thoughts. You should not even, it's not a must you lean on one side, but just regarding the Grammys, and do you think they're fair? Do you think people should look up to them, or just go and make your music and, you know, wait for the awards? If them come, them come. If not, you're good to go.
Well, I know the Grammys are very controversial when it comes to the reggae segment. But honestly, I can't really speak too much on Soulja, because they've been in music for a very long time. And I can only suppose that they have started their journey as simple youths wanted to make reggae, you know? And the thing is, we as Jamaicans, you know, it's gonna take us a bit to develop a structure that can allow us to really gain that momentum on a, what would I say, on a popularity basis. Because I will say that I am a big fan of the music that we make down here, and I do think it's very close to the genre authentically. But with Soulja, I can't deny that they're also impacting people as well. And I can't take that away from them. But I also think reggae, just it's meant to influence. It's meant to influence, and its influence has really gone so far that we can't even try to control it at this point. You know, and who are we to kind of limit who it influences? You know, who are we to limit Bob Marley's influence, you know, Toots and the Maytals' influence to people from a different country who may take that music and repackage it in the way that they feel works.
Yeah, man.
So I think it's just more energy and fire for us to put even more quality in our music and put even more push in our music, and even possibly collaborate with these guys. Why not? Like, you know, just bring the world.
A music we are dealing with,
They must let us know, like, what we must do. Like, what is our, you know, like, how can we get there? Because I'm sure they also would love to see us win. You feel me?
For real.
So it's just we'll have to keep working together and try not to make that separation or cause too much drama. Because at the end of the day, it's just like negativity and negativity. You know?
For real.
It's just more negativity.
Yeah. So from the background, I can see there's a pretty studio, and you know, Barnes talked to me about it, man. That it's a studio. So building your studio, how was the process, and what are you still learning from that? You know, like having your own space to work on and stuff like that. Tell us more.
Yo, trust me. I mean, I'm a person that always had my own space now, even when I didn't have my own space. So, living at my parents' house, I'm in the office, I'm in my room, I'm just in any room that is barely used. And I just like set up my speakers and the table and the laptop, and I just work. Like, trust me, I had, anywhere I went, I always had my little setup. But one thing I've realized is having your own space gives you control. And also it gives you a freedom where I can play things at any volume in this space because it's treated.
For real.
I'm just a joke where I'm a mom's house, you know, my stepdad would come in the studio and just tell me
just the side, like yo.
Yeah, enough time is when I'm around some other artists and producers, and trust me, it's not a good feeling. So, I mean, to just, get to a point where I can have my own music and not having anyone walk in here and tell me, hey, just turn it down,
Yeah.
I can, produce freely, record, and at a really good quality as well. So I give thanks.
Yeah. So you've been blessed to, work with the big names, in the music business, works that you've done for Drake's album, of course, Chronics. We've done works with Koffee, you've done works with J.L.L, Governor, just to name a few. What kind of producer are you? Are you like a hands-on producer, or you just, let the artist lead the way? They're like, okay, J.L.L, me feel this way, me want to go this direction. Do you go that direction with them, or you're like, you know what? Me feel so you can tweak something over here, so you can add something over there, so, you know what I mean? Like, what kind of producer are you?
At this point, I'm very hands-on, I'm very hands-on, and to tell you the truth, I wasn't always hands-on. I used to be more of a beat maker that started everything, so I would just like have a beat and I'll just send it to the artist, But then growing up in music and really, getting back songs that to me felt like, all right, more could have been done, or feeling like I didn't have the kind of control I wanted. It just kind of made me get more involved and give more direction and just be more confident in what I want in music. So nowadays you'll find me, doing vocal production, bringing in musicians, going to studio, booking time, spending time with the artist, going to the rhythm, asking them what they feel, like changing around things, mixing things myself, like taking control of the whole process so that I can be certain that the end product is exactly what I intended it to be.
Yeah. So what if you find an artist who's like, you know what, yo, brother, me overstart what I try if you do, but I want to go this direction. So like how do you act in such a situation? Like, do you load them, or do you try to find a balance, or you're like, you know what, it's your song regardless, you go pay me, I'm gonna get my bills, I'm gonna be good?
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always a tricky thing. It's a good question. I mainly think it's important to work with the artist always, because at the end of the day, the artist is the brand, but at the same time, the artist doesn't always know exactly what's the best thing sonically, but they know what they want, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I try to meet the middle ground where it's just like, okay, you say I want to try this, even though I'm just like, I don't know. I just say, all right, Erwa, we'll try it, and I'll show you, say it now work.
Yeah.
I will do what you want to do, and then I say, you see, nah, this don't sound good.
Yeah.
Let's just go back.
Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah. Give them that, validation to see their ideas come to life and see if it makes sense or not. Because otherwise, I feel like I would be regressive if I don't allow artists to have their expression in the music, even if they may not know exactly how to express it musically, in music terms.
Yeah, man.
They know what they want, and the best thing is to just give them that validation. Yeah, but you never know.
Yeah, for real. All right, so Gifted, Koffee's album, man, charting number 9 right now in the UK, doing some awesome stuff. We're playing records of it. Lonely, we're playing that. We're playing Runaway. We're gonna be discussing about it in a bit. We're playing Lockdown. How did you link up with Koffee? Because I've tried to get Koffee for my show. I was with her in London in 2018. I couldn't get her. I've tried for 20, and I know, I understand the business. She's a busy woman. She's doing her thing. New label, RCA, and all them things there. Very hard to find her. But how did you link up with Koffee? And when was Runaway recorded? How was the process? Did you tell her, yo, drop this, do this? Tell us.
All right. That process was so interesting because little known fact, I actually went to school with Koffee.
Okay. That's exclusive. We never know. Yeah.
So she went to Arden as well. I was a few years above her, and I saw her at a few places after high school, and we never really got to work together, but we'll hail each other up and thing. And at some point I was approached, by someone to specifically Ron, who is his manager. I was approached by him, and he was just like, hey, you know, I want to pitch you for this camp Koffee's doing. And I was just like, okay, I mean, sure, because trust me, I'm not the person, I'm not gonna run down an artist. You know, I'm not gonna be like, yo, like, we need to work because I believe in the, you know, perfect timing. And I believe that if I'm doing good work, then good people will come to me.
Yeah, you'll definitely attract them.
Talented people, right?
Yeah,
so fast forward to when that camp happened, and it was just basically a camp full of musicians, you know, Kenny Hill, Nico, just to name a few. And what had happened was Koffee came in the room. She said she wanted a track that sounded like this, like dancehall kind of mixed with some soul. And then I was just like, all right, because the onus was on me to come up with the idea. They're just like, because I was nervous, and I was just like, yo, I don't know if I'm going to leave this camp with any ideas, you know, because, you know, but I remember I brought up a drum loop, and basically the musician started playing something. So I was just like, all right, cool. So I basically went around the whole room speaking to them, each individual, and just trying to like change up the song. So I would say like, change that chord and maybe move this here, or maybe record that there. So basically just taking the pieces of these inputs from them and just placing it in a song. And then Koffee comes in, and you know, Koffee immediately sits down, and when she's going quiet mode and she's on her phone and she's murmuring to herself, you know, she's writing. Yeah. And then she was just there for like a couple hours. I sort of said, all right, you know, we got a good distance with this too. Let's move on to the next one. But she's like, no, let's keep this one. Yeah. And then, you know, that was the first thing we really worked on, and that was the song. You feel me? And that song, I can confidently tell you, was done in a day.
What?
Like a few hours. Brother. Like literally. No, and she wrote it literally while we're building it. Arranged it same time. I did a little mix on it, and then you know, Dre did the final mix, and yeah, that was it. So, it was a quick process.
Let me ask you.
There, made the song and left.
Let me ask you, did you feel, or did the musicians plus you feel in the room like, yo, you see that Chonia, you know, wherever she decides to use it, probably on an album, it's gonna be a big tune. Like, did you know it's gonna take over? For real?
No.
You did?
Yes. I mean, trust me, the thing is, the musicians, they would come back to me and they'd be like, yo, I mean, throughout the whole camp, it's this song they really listen to. And just I was like, yo, like, and that's my thing, you know. You know, just, I like connecting with the musicians because they feel what they're doing. They feel it. They have to. That's all they do. They just feel the music. And
the Adrenaline Drive Show, where the party never stops, on air and online, every weekday from 3 to 7 p.m. Vibes Radio. Nobody can stop.
If an artist comes to you and they're like, you know what, me want the same thing that you did for Koffee. Me want it to be like a rhythm. Can you do something like that?
That's not my style, man. Trust me. And that's definitely a trope when it comes to being a producer. It's just like,
yeah,
I want this.
The same.
You know, can I give me this exact thing? You know, nah.
You know, for real. Even if they have a heavy bag. You know?
Is that?
Even if they have a heavy bag, like they have, you know, some good.
All right. Well, here's what I will do. The thing is, I can always give them something that feels similar. Never something that sounds like the same exact thing, but something that feels similar. That's no problem.
Yeah.
Similar feeling, similar groove. I can do that, but like that track, no.
So
we're not gonna give you that track.
We're not gonna hear it as like a J.L.L. rhythm or something like that. That's done. No remix, no nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, You're breaking my heart here, man, because I'd love to hear, I mean, Koffee, of course, did an awesome job, on the record, but I'd love to hear some other artists who I will not mention here because I don't want to.
Honestly, you will, man. The thing is just, it's the energy, because at the end of the day, with every song that comes from a genuine place, you can still get the same vibe, but we're just with new sonics, new instruments, new everything, you know. So that's kind of where my head goes.
Crossing my fingers. So,
yes.
Do you have any piece of work that you have done? You're like, you see the project here, the tune here, I love it. As a producer, do you have any?
Out already or on the way out?
Let's the out already and something. Okay, just in general, out already or something coming out.
General. I mean, honestly, there's so much tunes out right now. I think, funnily enough, a tune that I think really impressed me based on how well it did for the culture was a tune called A Little Bit of Money by Governor.
Yeah.
That tune, I mean, while maybe not on the international stage, not as big, but
well, if it's played on this station, it's big. It's international. If it's played on Vibes,
great. Great. Because honestly, that production to me is one of my favorites. And just the cultural relevancy to it, and the fact that it was a whole term, Little Bit of Money, that still is. So I mean, that was kind of cultural, Things like Della Move, obviously, the Fresh and Clean, Mango by Savannah. But I should mention something that is probably a little lesser known. There's two artists, I mean more than two, but right now Hector, Bruce Lewis,
Ups and Down,
is doing great things, and the project that me and him have, with the two songs I produced and two other songs by Natural High and Kongs, amazing. Let's Groove is the music video is coming out soon, so that's something I want to plug. And my artist, Chris Malachi, who is someone I've done an album with. Who is also a very talented and prospective musician and artist. And the music that we've worked on is amongst the most produced music I've made in my career. So I can't wait for that to come out, you feel me?
So did you do Ups and Downs by Roots?
Yes.
And Let's Groove?
Well, Kongs did Let's Groove.
Okay. But Ups and Downs, Let's Groove, transitioning from a percussionist to a musician and not just an artist is a good look, and definitely you're supporting that. So, of course, Afrobeat is taking over, bro, and how does that relate to Caribbean music? What are your thoughts regarding that? Recently the Billboard had to, unfortunately remove the reggae beat of it and add the Afrobeat charts to it. So as a Jamaican, born and raised with the love of dancehall and reggae music, and still African, in certain way, of course you love Afrobeat. So what are your thoughts in regards to that? What's the connection?
Well, there's always been a connection between Africa and Jamaica and the wider Caribbean. I think it's just a black connection in general, because I can obviously hear the inspiration African music has taken from dancehall music, and obviously the inspiration Jamaican music has taken from African music. To me, I think that really and truly Afrobeat is getting the flowers it deserves. I mean, I don't think there's much of a complaint other than it's on the onus of us to really revive the culture and also be a part of a movement, instead of trying to it's the same kind of negative association with other genres, doing well above ours. The thing is that our genre, reggae especially, will never die. Reggae comes in waves. I mean, Afrobeat right now is a steady, consistent rise, but reggae might not be necessarily high up there with Afrobeat, but it's gonna come back again. But it's gonna come back in the way it's supposed to.
So you're not worried? You're not worried at all?
No, I'm not worried because I mean I make Afrobeat too.
Yeah,
you know, and that's something I study as well. And the groove in Afrobeat is among some of the best grooves in music in general. So I just feel like it's something for us to really study from, learn from. Not only just the music side, but the business side. Just the business. African artists, producers have been able to curate on their own is ridiculous. They're great. And that is what we need to catch up with. It's the business side that we're kind of trying to catch up with. Trust me. Trust me, yeah.
So excuse me, there's this for lack of a better word, dancehall trap, you know, like this, you know, DJs, you know, voicing on, you know, kind of trap beats or pop beats. What are your thoughts regarding that? As J.L.L, the producer, like, do you think we should embrace it, or we should just stick to the boom, boom, the 90s kind of thing, you know, and just freshen it up? What are your thoughts regarding that? You hear me?
All right. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm hearing you. I think it's definitely another trope to always want to, you know, go back to the 90s dancehall. But I do feel like the music that the people are making down here are the music that is coming from the streets. And honestly, the streets speak their truth. So that's something that I can never speak against. It's just that I feel what needs to happen is again, it's the onus of the producers to kind of come into this culture and try and you know put in some more quality into it. You know, so maybe a producer like me to engage with some of the local dancehall acts and, you know, share some of my rhythms, you know, or share some of my direction, and but allow them to still have that voice, because at the end of the day you can't silence, you know, the people's choice. You know, even if it's just a local choice, you can't silence the streets, man. So the best thing you have to do is just to listen to them, and I feel like what they haven't gotten is a proper ear to really explain, you know, why we don't have an in-depth interview as to what's going on in these people's minds, you know, so we can get their trust and allow them to even open up to more genres, or to a higher standard of music. Because right now I would say the music that's being made now is objectively good. It's okay, but I feel like we still have a long way to go in terms of sonics. And I feel like as long as it's an inclusive space where everyone is being treated as equals, then I think we have the potential to bring it where it is right now, bring it to a place that, you know, can be alongside Afrobeat, you know, or be alongside another genre or space that is doing well, you know. So it's all about trying to understand where it's coming from, and I mean, to a degree, embrace it. 90s dancehall is what it is. 90s dancehall. We need to figure out what is nowadays dancehall. 90s dancehall, we can always go back, but again, it's not to make that, it's to get the feeling. So if we try to recreate the feeling, I feel like we can definitely get back that energy.
For real. You know? All right. So what's next for you, you know, individually, and also in terms of, you know, the works? You know, I mean, you've mentioned slightly about, you know, Hector Roots project, but what's next? You know, Runaway is taking over, you know, the airwaves here in the 254 in my country, you know, in Nairobi, you know, it's doing well in the UK, but what's next? What's up for J.L.L? You know what I mean?
What's next for me is just more collaborations, you know, more work with local acts, international acts. I think mainly my objective is to put up my own projects, you know, collaborate with some musicians and try to curate some sounds from my perspective and my mind, because as much as the songs that are out, the dancehall and reggae, those are, to me, small range of the sonic ability that I have as a producer. And I really want to put out some more passion projects. Because the thing I feel a lot of musicians are an art they build towards is putting out their own music. You know, I know a lot of us, we produce for artists, which is no problem, but it's always leading up to us having more control over the music we want to put out. And trust me, that is where I'm going. But other than that, I mean, there's a lot of exciting songs coming out with some more legends, you know.
Give us some names, bro. Give us some names, man.
Hector. All right. Well,
if you can.
Let me spill some beans. So, obviously, Hector, you know, I have some upcoming artists. Sorry. I have an upcoming artist named Courtney. I have Manine, Savannah. Yeah, Savannah have some good stuff coming out.
Yeah.
Fun enough, I have Barris Hammond.
Ooh!
A track with Barris Hammond. I have a few tracks with Cracks.
The OG.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Track, man. It's a wild track.
Yo. So who called who? Who called who? Barris Harmony House called you like, yo, J.L.L, we need you.
It's a wild pool of artists.
Yeah.
Who called who?
Barris called you, or you, how did you guys link up to just make that track?
You know, the funny thing is just that it was at a camp, you know. It was at another camp, and Barris rolled through. You know, it was different room. He heard the music, caught an immediate vibe, and made a song.
Yeah.
Trust me.
I remember that camp. You were with Kabaka Pyramid, Medicine.
Because it's. Yeah, trust me. So when that song comes out, man, you're gonna hear the energy, man, because it was a one take. It just shot it, and one thing I'll say as well, it's a reggae trap. So take what you want with that reggae trap song.
All right.
Including Chronics and Medicine as well.
All right, so before we let you leave,
exciting stuff, man. Trust me.
Before we let you leave, do you watch any kind of sports? Like, do you support basketball, football? Why? Like, what are some of your hobbies, man?
I was paused.
You can hear me? You can hear me now? J.L.L sijui amepotea ameenda wapi.
All right.
You can hear me now?
Yeah. You're back on.
Yeah.
Hobbies. Hobbies. Boy, yes. I haven't thought about hobbies in a long time. But
why you do where you free up? Why you do? You go to the beach, you play some ball. Why you do?
Well, I'm definitely a fan of, you know, going to the beach and going to a hill and just chilling. I'm trying to pick up reading recently.
Yeah.
I mean, and every now and then I may play a game or two, you know, but honestly, I just watch, I consume a lot of content. That's really my free time. I'm watching a video, I'm listening to music, you know, I'm just consuming. Otherwise, I'm just talking to friends and hanging out and trying to, you know, go places that are, I mean, that kind of refill my energy. But otherwise, I'm a pretty low-key person for the most part, to be honest.
The Adrenaline Drive Show where the party never stops. On air and online. Every weekday from 3 to 7 p.m. Vibes Radio. Nobody can stop.